cars and they all black. Got 4 bras and they all that. We call that ballin'. Doing this is my calling. Flow is so appalling. My phone.
What's up? I'm Sal.
I'm RJ. This is Dos.
And Tres. This week we're continuing our series into the biggest questions for each team leading into training camp. This week we're going to do the AFC West, starting with the Chargers.
AFC West, one of the best divisions. So we're going to start with the Chargers, that he just said. And the Chargers, I am a Phillip Rivers stan, and touch bases real quick, I was just going to say that I think he's going to have his best season of his career this coming year, but there's still questions to be answered, or to be questioned.
What are you doing here? How do you, know where I live?
It's called the Freedom of Information Act, Kate. The hippies finally got something right.
Going into training camp, biggest question is Keenan Allen being able to stay healthy, and you need to have Mike Williams kind of like a sub one. Like, he needs to be ready to be put in that number one role right away, because Rivers needs help. And main thing last year with them is they couldn't finish games. I know they had a lot of injuries. Another question, being able to stay healthy. But if they can finish games this coming year that they couldn't finish last year, I expect Bosa to pick up right back where he left off. I think he can really help that this coming season, being able to finish those games in the fourth quarter, being a predominant pass rusher, and being able to cause havoc in the backfield. But yeah, if they can finish those games, I think they're going to have a damn good season.
And that's always really been the question with the Chargers since LT left, which is them not being able to close out games. They're always like on hair's edge of making playoffs, and they just can't get in. But, health, you can't really control that. But that is a big question for them. Being that they have a new head coach and defensive coordinator, I don't know how the consistency is going to, how they're going to start off and how they're going to continue consistency, with those new additions. And then on the defensive side, Gus Bradley, the new D coordinator, from the vein of Seattle defenses, does their secondary really fit that scheme? Do they have the guys to really fit that? They haven't really filled in Eric Weddle's void. They just lost Brandon Flowers. Jason Verrett has always, he's been dealing with injuries too. I mean, that goes back to the health thing. I know you got Bosa and you got Melvin Ingram. Those are good pass rushing pieces, but you need that secondary to back them up too. That's really how Seattle is based on. The secondary is the focal point of the defense.
Yeah, and when Verrett is healthy, he is one of the best cornerbacks in the league. So, like I said, even though you can't control it, health is a big question this coming year.
Next for the Broncos, offense, the QB competition. That's their big question. Is Simeon your guy, or is Paxton Lynch going to finally see the field? Because that window for a rookie quarterback is basically 4 years, because after 4 years, you're going to have to decide, am I going to pick up that 5th-year option? And that Lynch was a first-round pick, so they have that decision coming. It seems like Elway has a lot of faith in Simeon. I mean, he started pretty much all last year until he was injured, but you invested so much in Lynch, even jumping up to get him. I don't see why he's not your day one starter. I know there's going to be an open competition. They have a new head coach also. It's going to be interesting, to say the least.
I think Elway over there, he has a real big ego for himself as far as handling situations and what he likes to say to the media. But anyways, that is the biggest question as far as Lynch and Simeon. And then whoever is starting back there, the running game. So they need a running game. And you know what? They got help with signing Leary in the offseason. Got help in drafting Garrett Bowles. So that could help with whoever's playing quarterback back there. Okay, as far as defense side of the ball goes, Wade Phillips is gone now, and the big thing here is being able to play man-to-man. I know they can do it, but as far as when you play man-to-man a lot, it's really tiring on the defenders and the cornerbacks a lot, as you saw in the Super Bowl, where Atlanta played man-to-man predominantly the first half, and you know what happened in the second half. Von Miller, I expected him to be the same guy that he is. TJ Ward, he's kind of getting up there now a little bit. We'll see what happens with Talib. I know there's been some rumors as far as maybe trading him or trying to find a trade partner.
The thing with playing man-to-man the whole game is, it's tiring, but you're really depending on your pass rushers to get home. And Von Miller's going to get there, most of the time, but he's also going to be doubled and triple teamed most of the time too. So you're really looking to the other side, and is Shane Ray going to step up and really get after the quarterback to fill that void? DeMarcus Ware really did a great job, with the last few years of his career when he was healthy at, being that complement to Von. So really it's all going to depend on that, and then, getting over the fact that Wade Phillips is gone. He's the one who made that defense. That and Elway signing all these guys, but he's the one who really, schemed them to become one of the best defenses in recent memory.
Yeah, and Ware was a really perfect guy to complement Miller with his size and everything and his strength. I don't know if Ray's not the same type of I know obviously not the same, but as far as stock build and the type of traits that DeMarcus had, Shane doesn't have those type of traits.
So with the Chiefs, how long is Alex Smith's leash on the offensive side of the ball? You drafted Patrick Mahomes. He's learning the playbook, and you want to say that, hey, this guy, he's going to take a year break, and then we're going to go into next year, probably let go of Smith. But I know there's a lot of fans, a lot of Chiefs fans that get unsatisfied with, Alex Smith's game management persona, and, always, not making it to the AFC Championship where this team is really capable of getting. And Mahomes is a pretty good quarterback. I do think that the year would be beneficial to him, but they may see some things in training camp that they say, okay, let's take a chance. Let's roll the dice with the guy we invested in already, and let him learn from Alex at the same time. It's going to be a good competition to see what happens.
Holmes landed in the perfect spot that he could have with Andy Reid, and it's just going to be a great development, but we'll see how fast he develops, and if he ends up developing fast enough. And I'd say Alex has come out and admitted that, I do realize that I probably only have a year left here or whatever, but it'll be interesting to see what happens this year as far as the quarterback situation goes.
Defensively, how are you going to replace Dontari Poe? For the Chiefs, it came down, they had to choose between him or Eric Berry. Obviously, Berry is the more valuable player to the defense, a perennial All-Pro, but Poe is a big part of the defense too. He's been the guy, the rock in the center of that defense that's really held them together. He's a little bit on the decline. The thing with him coming out was his quick twitch ability and speed, but he's still a really good player. That's why he got paid, pretty well by the Falcons. They have a decent defensive line, but that's literally by his size, that is a big void to fill.
As far as Houston goes, hopefully he can come in this year healthy, and
Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now.
As far as Houston goes, hopefully he can come in this year healthy and 100%, because I don't think even in the playoffs last year he wasn't 100% at all. So hopefully Houston can get going this coming year, and they have one of the best cornerbacks in the league in Marcus Peters now. So hopefully if Houston can stay healthy and they can try to find whoever's going to fill that void in the middle of the defense, I expect them to still have a top caliber defense this coming year.
Compounding with that, losing Poe in the middle of the defense as far as that goes, is the fact that Derek Johnson, the middle linebacker, is coming off another ACL injury. So really, that middle of the defense is significantly weaker. Going into the Raiders offense, I know a lot of Raiders fans are pumped. I'm pumped because I'm a fan of the player. Is Marshawn Lynch going to be able to handle that starting role carries that he's going to get after having the break? I think he'll be able to take it on just because of that break. I think he was kind of, dissatisfied with the situation in Seattle and, the heartbreak of losing the Super Bowl the way they did, and then, the turmoil of being a hard, tough runner. But, playing for his hometown team, coming to a good team that's, Super Bowl caliber roster, he's going to have all the motivation to do it. But, because of his age and the time off, there's still that question whether he can handle it.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of energy every single game now with Marshawn back there in the backfield getting those carries. Also losing Andre Holmes, even though he wasn't a big part of the offense, but he did have some really good games for them when Cooper really wasn't consistent enough. And I expect Cooper to have a big breakout year. I know some games he'd go for 100 and then maybe next week he'd barely have like 40 or 50 yards. Him staying consistent is another big question. And then to the defensive side of the ball, the secondary's development. Look, they got the front. They got Irvin, Khalil Mack, All-Pro at linebacker and defensive end. They have some athletic linebackers. There's still some questions I've seen from Raiders fans for the linebacker spot. But as far as the development of Carl Joseph and the secondary guys in the back end, because really they were one of the worst secondaries last year in the league. So the development of those guys, that's what really needs to happen this coming training camp and offseason to push them over the top and get them hopefully somebody to compete with the Patriots in the AFC.
So they picked up Sean Smith in free agency last year, so he's going to be slotted in at one of your cornerback spots. They drafted Garyon Conley, who is a great talent, but now the story's kind of changing with him. Really, there's some questions up in the air whether the secondary can perform, because man, they did pretty horrible last year.
Yeah, regardless, I know Sean Smith is a pretty good veteran back there, but regardless, if Conley's going to play, it's still young, but they still need to develop fast because this team can win now.
That pretty much does it for our AFC West look into their biggest training camp questions. If you like this video, leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe at Dos and Tres. If you want to be a super subscriber, go ahead and hit the bell next to the subscribe button, and you'll get notified every time we post a new video.
Yeah, and if you want to keep up to all the latest news and up to date, as soon as we release something, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Dos and Tres YT.
Peace.
Okay, it's rap pack to my pulse flat. We keep it real, no false rap. I got 4 cars and they all black. Got 4 bras and they all that. We call that ballin'. Doing this is my calling.